time, and you will see the magic of public speaking.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Communication Lecture Series. I am your host, Adam Banks, and this is episode 10. Wow, we are in episode 10. What a landmark for the podcast. And to celebrate it, I would like to have this episode as a student spotlight episode. Today, I'm going to feature an interview that I did with a former student of mine who is very successful as an author. Some of her work is fascinating, and I would like to take you to the interview now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I want to introduce author Donise Sheppard. She is a romance and horror writer residing in southern West Virginia. She found her passion for books at an early age and has been chasing stories ever since. When she isn't working, she's reading for pleasure, baking, or singing off key. I like that little bio about her.
I do too.
Donise, I want to first of all say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be on Off the Cuff. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So let me just go ahead and just state the elephant in the room. Well, actually, there's no elephant in the room because nobody knows this.
Exactly.
But Donise actually was one of my students. Now, most of my listeners know that I am a college professor, and Donise actually had me in class. Amber, she's actually seen me in action as a teacher.
She's seen that side I haven't seen.
She has. So go ahead, Donise, and go ahead and let everybody know how fabulous and wonderful Adam Banks is as an instructor.
You are a very good teacher.
Did I make you feel inspired? Did I inspire you?
You taught me how to public speak, and it's probably because of your class I am able to do this interview.
Well, and it's two different things, isn't it? Writing and speaking, wouldn't you say, is two very different things?
Yes, I could write all day long, but if I have to get up in front of a group of people and talk, I get really, really nervous.
Well, like I tell you, the very beginning of class, people focus more on the public than they do the speaking. If you would just not focus so much on the public and you just focus on what you're saying, you will that will do wonders for you. But I'm not going to give a public speaking lecture. This is all about Donise right now. Donise, thank you so much. So I was talking about inspiration. What inspires you as a writer? Because when you're writing your material, you have to get your inspiration from somewhere. So where does it come from?
You can get inspiration from anywhere. Me personally, I'll either get it from other stories, whether they be books, music, TV, or even a picture.
Yeah. A picture says 1,000 words.
Working your imagination.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So does a reader have to have a good imagination to enjoy a book?
I would say you do, but if you start at an early age, then you build your imagination as you grow.
Well, let me ask, when you write your material, do you have a particular place that you want to go and write? Do you want to sit in front of a window? Do you like to go in front of a lake? Do you like writing at night? Do you like writing in the daytime? Where do you like to go, and when do you like to write?
I actually prefer to write in the morning before the kids wake up, and usually at my kitchen table. But I have written by a lake, and that is quite nice, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I feel like that places like that gives you some inspiration. So let's talk about some of your work. Anthology is what they call it, right? Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
An anthology is a series of short stories. So let me just explain that to the audience. It's just an anthology it's got a theme, right? It's like the theme might be horror, the theme might be love, and it's just different short stories depending on the theme. Am I getting that right?
Yes.
Okay, and you've done a couple of those. What's your favorite thing about writing a short story compared to a big, long novel?
Short stories are really, really great for busy people, anybody who has, a job or several jobs in your case, or kids, they don't have a lot of time. You can get the full emotion and the full story in a short story. And I prefer short stories over novels sometimes because you can get that from anthologies.
So just looking at some of your work here, Love Dust which is love stories, not all romance, but your story is romance. Magical reality, which is contemporary fantasy stories, but your story is romance. At Death's Door, which is a story about death and dying, and your story that you've got in here is a horror story, and that's actually the newest project that you're working on, correct?
Yes, it was just released.
Tell me a little bit about At Death's Door.
It has 24 different stories in different genres about death and dying. The genres range from fantasy to romance to horror.
What made you want to cover this topic?
We have tried different topics in the past, but we've bounced a few ideas back and forth. But we were both really excited. We had wanted to do the 7 Deadly Sins, but that didn't quite work out. And we saw the death and dying, and we both really enjoyed that topic, so we chose to go with that one because you can do a lot with dying.
I'm fascinated with death, and Amber is too. Don't give me that look. Don't give me that look. You're fascinated with death too. And I think everybody somewhat is fascinated with death because it's something that happens to everybody, right? Everybody's going to die. So do you think that... Well, let me ask, while writing something like this, do you get crippling fear? Like, where you're constantly thinking about death? Are you getting scared at all? Like, thinking about it too much?
No, I don't. I'm not my characters. I write about different people, their story.
Yeah.
They're completely made up, so I don't have to worry so much about their future and their problems because it's about connecting with your readers on an emotional level. And writers, we get a kick out of scaring our readers or making them cry. There's actually no greater compliment.
Why?
Because it means you've reached them. If you can make someone feel what you feel whenever you're writing something, you have connected with another person on an intimate level.
So you're saying that's one of the biggest compliments that you could get as a writer?
Yes.
Okay, what I also find fascinating about you, Donise, is not only are you an author, but you have decided to become an entrepreneur and started your own publishing company. So this is really interesting for people who are out there maybe thinking about publishing their own work. They could actually possibly get published through your publishing company. Your publishing company is it's called Pixie Forest Publishing. Tell me a little bit about that and how that got started.
Well, we started it 2 years ago. There was me and another woman. She's no longer with Pixie Forest, but I have a new partner, Alan Ianson. And we basically just wanted to help other authors get paid. I started writing short stories, and none of the small publishing companies paid.
Yeah.
And as a writer, that's kind of an insult. We spend hours writing and pouring our heart and soul into a story, and it's kind of an insult to not be paid for your work. And I wanted to change that. Right now we only offer $10 as payment, but it's something.
It is.
It's saying you're worth money. Your story is worth something.
Okay, so if I want to, or if anyone listening is wanting to get published, they can possibly come to you, correct? Now, tell me about how that process works.
Right now, we are only accepting short stories for our open calls for submissions. We just closed 4 submissions for our next anthology, Phobia, and we will be opening within the next couple months for a different theme that we have not announced yet. And you can locate our theme on our website and write a story in that theme under any genre and submit to our website for consideration.
That is amazing, and and folks, it's not something that's just easy to do. You just can't. It's not one of these publishing companies that they're just going to publish anything that they get. Denise is very serious about this because I thought I could weasel my way into getting a story published, and I was like, "Hey, Denise, you want to publish me?" She's like, "Hey, if it's good enough." And she did. I mean, she flat out told me that, and she said, "You can." She told me what she's telling everybody right now. You have to submit it to get it looked at. I mean, they're not going to publish just anything. I think that's great, and I think that you're doing something that's just fascinating because not everybody's doing that. And I honestly think that authors are some of the most interesting people in the world, and you are providing people a platform and providing people a service to get published, and you're giving people a chance. I love it. So I'm going to have all of your information. I'm going to have it all posted to the podcast, but just go ahead and tell everybody how they can find more information out about you and about your publishing company.
You can go to either website, either pixieforestpublishing.com or donisesheppard.com, and you can pretty much find anything from our books to what we're publishing to what I have published in the past. And contact me if you need.
At Death's Door, ladies and gentlemen, that's a new anthology of horror stories talking about death. I can't wait to get a copy. And speaking of, where can I get a copy of this new anthology?
We sell all of our books on Amazon, Kindle and paperback.
Kindle and paperback. Hey, let me ask, are you going to do what do they call those, Amber, audiobooks? Do they call those
like an audiobook.
Are you going to do an audiobook? Because, I mean...
We've got you a voice actor here.
Yeah. I mean, no, I wasn't trying to promote myself for that. I was just saying I'm more of a listener, I think, more than a reader. So, have you ever thought about possibly doing audiobooks, Donise?
I have considered it in the past. I've looked up, where I need to go and what I need to do, and I've definitely considered moving into the audiobook.
Love it. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Donise Sheppard. I want to thank you so much, Donise, for taking your time out to come on and promote the book, promote yourself, and promote that publishing company. I think it's good stuff. And come back. Don't be a stranger here on Off the Cuff. Thank you for I know that you're a big fan.
I am. I enjoy the show. It always makes me laugh.
So let me ask. You have me and Amber here. Amber, say hi.
Hey, Donise.
Hi, Amber.
Who's your favorite?
Do I have to pick a favorite?
Oh, well, I have control over the phone right now. So if you want to stay on the air, you know who to pick.
Donise, don't let that man hold you down. I'll call you on my phone.
Donise, thank you so much for taking the time out. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
All right. That was Donise Sheppard, ladies and gentlemen, an author. Check out her stuff at pixieforestpublishing.com or donisesheppard.com. You can find Pixie Forest on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Pixie Forest Pub. Find Donise on Facebook at author Donise Sheppard and Twitter and Instagram at Donise Sheppard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up for another episode of the Communication Lecture Series. I'm your host, Adam Banks, and I will see you in the next episode.
See the magic of